fight.
It's all so magical.
I've never fun. That fast someday a blue.
And does the same.
Hey guys, I'll make this intro short. I was at the Cincinnati Keep Families Together rally, one of many happening across the US. The rallies were sparked by the family separation policy occurring at the border. At this protest, I got 9 people who were willing to be interviewed. Some of us found common ground, while others didn't. Some people wanted to abolish ICE, and some were calling out the recently ruled travel ban. Some people even brought their kids to symbolize what was happening at the border. Really hope you guys enjoy, and I'll be back at the end of the video. Sweet, so why are you out here today?
We're out here to make a collective statement that preaches radical love, and so we're here to show solidarity for those people, as well as to make a general statement about what the country stands for, which is inclusiveness, diversity, and the embrace of all, so that we can have a true democratic republic.
I'm here I'm against the Trump policy of separating children from their parents. That is un-American. Even the worst countries don't do that.
I'm here because families matter. More importantly, it's about keeping our families together. I'm here mainly because of our historical history as Americans, right? Seen with African American men and women during slavery, when literally our children, our wives, and our mothers have been separated from our families. So history is repeating itself, and it's repeating itself in a very negative way. And so I'm here to really shine light on these things, but also how can we have a more broader conversation about what it means to be an American.
The America that I love and the democratic ideals that it stands for are being subverted. We need to wake up and realize that America hasn't been free for everyone for a really long time.
I think that today is about having bodies out in public. I think what we have a lot going on is that people don't realize that their actions can change things and that their actions do have value, and this is all about showing that our actions do matter.
Well, take your pick. I mean, the immigration policy is terrible. People are being separated. Children are in cages. They're being separated from their parents. And as a U.S. citizen and having a family of ancestors who were immigrants, I don't get it. I don't understand why the cruelty is so prevalent right now. And I think it's disgusting.
Would you say the same thing?
I'm here because I care about families, and I'm here because I care about my country. I understand we need secure borders, but we don't need to do this in a cruel and inhumane manner. We need to keep families together, allow people in who really need to be allowed in. We can do both.
I'm here because my Christian faith compels me to be here. Policies and procedures and practices that we are implementing as a country do not reflect the values of Jesus, the Jesus that I follow, the Jesus who is my Savior. And so I need to be here to show up, to really follow my faith, to show up for my community, my sisters and brothers, and all of God's children who deserve love, respect, and dignity.
What kind of legislation would you like to see in regards to the immigration crisis?
What we need to do, we need to repeal and replace ICE. We didn't need it prior to 2003. However, a lot of our elected officials have said that America's always had an immigration problem. So why is it that we didn't need it past 2003, but so far this is something that has been utilized to actually terrorize families? But also, how can Congress have a broader conversation about having massive immigration reform? Because here's the thing, even though we can repeal and replace ICE, the problem is still going to be there. Doing that is only the tip of the iceberg. We have to have a common sense immigration reform bill that can actually have a pathway to citizenship, that can actually allow families from different parts of the world to come to the United States without having fear of being separated from their families, without having fear of being in the same situation that we were before.
The families should have a chance to present their asylum claims. They have worked very hard. The research shows that their criminal behavior is way less than the population at large. It's a very tiny fraction. These are good, healthy people that want to be in this country, and most all of us, except for Native Americans, we came here because our relatives came here to get a better life, and that's what these people are doing.
Well, I would just like to see more people get involved, more people get radicalized, because these are dark times that are happening right now, and no one can sit home at this point. So my message would be to mobilize people, because now is the time.
I know that Trump wrote the executive order, and so instead of separating families, now he is keeping them together but detaining indefinitely. So Socialist Alternative believes we need a strong mass movement
to not wait until November to force the politicians to end all of this targeting of immigrants?
Oh, I'd love to see a lot of changes from our policies and leaders. I'd love to see ICE abolished. I'd love to see a more welcoming immigration policy. And I'd love to see just the end of fear of the other, which plays out in society, but also in our policies that are deeply racist and misogynistic and need to change so that we may create a more just society.
No children in cages. Welcoming people with open arms, as the Statue of Liberty says. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. We need to welcome everyone. Someone trying to increase their stake in this world is someone who should be welcomed all the time.
So you did talk about abolishing ICE. Why would you go about abolishing ICE?
It's just at the point, I think it's past the point of reform. If we would just have to change the entire system as, maybe not abolish ICE, but you have to
Change
abolish
some
what
of the
they are
the
at
rules
this
that they
point.
do?
Yeah.
And I think ICE didn't exist before 2003, and we managed to get along just fine. And so I don't think that force needs to exist. It only implements a terror for those that it goes against. It is often cited as not following laws and policies and procedures. It's ruthless and it's completely unnecessary. We don't need to spend any of our tax dollars and money on ICE. We need to spend it on social programs that uplift the poor and the immigrant.
Do you know any of the history on ICE, like what they've been doing besides, handling deportations? They have taken down like a couple of terrorists in the past. Like I think there was this guy, he was working as like an accountant or a computer person, and he was spreading this terrorist propaganda. He was like part of an unnamed terrorist organization. They also took down like this massive child sex ring on the internet. I think it was a site called Dreamscape, Dreamware.
And the Nazis did good works in their communities. Like, that argument holds no water.
Yeah, there are other law enforcement agencies that handled all of those things before ICE came into being. ICE is not really beholden in ways that those other law enforcement agencies are. And so I'm advocating for disrupting child pornography rings and those kind of things.
Exactly.
But it can certainly be done by practices and by legal and law enforcement offices that have more accountability to them.
So more specifically on the Muslim ban, did you see like the Supreme Court ruling? I think it was 5-4 on the Muslim ban. I think it's more of a travel ban now since it includes like North Korea and Venezuela now. What's your thoughts on that?
That's pretty disappointing. I think that this has been a rough couple of weeks to witness all the decisions that the Supreme Court made, and then also to know that there's another process for Trump to appoint a second justice.
Well, it's not only Muslims, but it is largely the Muslim countries that are the ones affected by it. And it is, I think, very clearly discriminatory against those countries, especially because it's a travel ban. It's not even an immigration ban. These are people who have friends and family and relatives in this country who now are not able to come and visit them. It's inhumane.
Do you think we should kick all the bad guys out, like the MS-13 gangs, like all those people, like the drug dealers, the child rapists, those people, like who are
You mean the non-existent?
here?
I believe in due process for all. We have given that for everyone. Everyone deserves due process. I don't really know what the true answer is, but the way we're going right now is wrong.
If you're coming here to, and if you're like contributing to society, I 100% want you here.
Even if you're not.
Even if you're not?
Even if you're not.
Why so?
Because people don't deserve to be taken care of just because they are productive or producers of labor.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you know like any of the details behind why the family separation policy exists? The history of it, so it stemmed from, I think it was 2 court decisions. One of them was the Flores settlement in 1997. It said unaccompanied children can't be held for more than 20 days in federal hands. And then there was this 2016 Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decision that said this also applies to accompanied minors, but that doesn't mean that the parents also get out.
Well, of course, it's xenophobia, and it also is just a political tool to activate a white nationalist base. That's
Well,
cut.
I don't know if I really. Well, so here's the history behind like the family separation.
I'm not gonna argue. I'm just. If you want my statement, that's my statement.
Okay. Well, I mean,
you're not gonna persuade me.
I mean, isn't it important to like discuss the facts? Like, if we can recognize the facts,
right,
instead of just, I guess, acting from feelings.
Oh, hey. I'm trying to participate. Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.
I ran away, and I am not going back. And I am not going back.
You should.
I ran away, and I am not going back.
Let's make some magic!
And that's it. Unfortunately, I had to leave some footage out, like this young man's opinion on the single motherhood rate in the black community. But I still felt that most of my conversations were productive. I think it can be said that everyone there agrees that the child separations should stop, but not everyone is satisfied with a single alternative. I think I found some common ground with some people, but with others, I don't really think I got too far with them and them with me. It really is nice to go out and hear what people think about these issues. I can tell by the audience that everyone there was passionate in solving the issue at hand. In my opinion, it is as important to solve the issue as it is to look at the history behind it and why we still do it. I don't think everyone there understood that this policy has gone on for more than 20 years, and I really don't think that they are too interested in knowing why we still do it. But overall, I had a great time. It's always nice to go out and talk to people on the opposite side of things. You never really know what kind of common ground you'll find, or what issues you agree on until you get out there. I always encourage this friendly, civil dialogue, because I think it helps find solutions to our problems. And with that, I end the video. Feel free to share the video and discuss it with either me or friends. Anyways, have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.